I want to help you better understand what it really means to remain extended. For warriors, it is essential. Among other things, it is also the basis for getting help from the world. I will give you a practical example that will perhaps make the real meaning of staying extended much clearer to you. And this practical example is staying extended in the transition. I will take as an example the classic transition, the transition for dreaming, the transition that takes us from being awake to falling asleep. You see, a method that works very well for making the transition and accessing dreaming directly, entering dreaming directly, is precisely to remain extended. Remaining extended does not mean looking around or using your peripheral vision. Yes, of course you use extended perception. I mean, you use your whole body as the perceiver. That's fine. But staying extended is something more. Staying extended means that we are connected to the emanations outside, and therefore we move together with the world and move the world together with us. More precisely, our change in the assemblage point position flows together with the change in the alignment. Or to put it another way, remaining extended means that we are together with the alignment in a complete and continuous way, without ever losing this extension, this connection with the alignment. So, if the alignment changes, our assemblage point moves along with it. Our time mode moves, changes along with the change in the alignment's time mode, or with the change in the world's time mode, or vice versa. If we move the assemblage point, our connection as we stay extended, since we are extended together with the alignment, together with the connection with the world, and thus our change in the time mode, the assemblage point movement, becomes like some kind of wave that carries us thanks to the force of the alignment. Let's see how else I can say it. When we begin the movement of the assemblage point, if we are connected to the movement, and if we are extended in the Toltec meaning of the word, the force of the alignment to which we are connected through our extension carries us with it. And therefore the transition, the movement, or also the stability of the assemblage point, right? The two aspects of unbending intent, maintaining the direction or the position, the direction during the movement, or the position when we are stabilized in a new position. Well, maintaining the position or direction of the assemblage point movement is not ensured by our personal effort. That is our personal effort, our intent. All of this certainly counts. But what makes it truly feasible, possible, effective? What gives continuity and stability to this direction or position of the assemblage point is the fact that we are extended together with the alignment. So, if our intent, connected to that of the world, is to hold the position, the force of the alignment to which we are attached by being extended holds the position. This is getting help from the world. Or the force of alignment keeps the direction if we are moving. But in short, it is very clear to warriors that we cannot do things alone, that we must get help from the world. Meaning, when we say world, the alignment that is in place or in motion. So going back to the practical example, if as we begin to fall asleep, we maintain the extension. If we are extended in all directions on the alignment and we hook into it, when our assemblage point unhooks and begins to move, this has an effect on the alignment and produces like a wave that begins to carry us. And at that point it is no longer us who are making the transition. Yes, it is us because we maintain awareness of this wave that is carrying us. But what is actually carrying us is the alignment that is flowing, shifting, changing. It's not easy to explain. In fact, it's much easier to do, I must admit. To put it simply, in practical terms, I'll just say this. When you make the transition for dreaming, in this case for dreaming, you just have to remain extended on what is outside. Perceive the change that is happening in the alignment, out there, outside of yourself. If you are focused on yourself, and we are back to self-absorption, which is the obstacle to everything, making the transition will really require inhuman effort and exertion. But if you move with the movement of the alignment, if you move with the world that is changing because your awareness, your assemblage point, begins to flow towards a new position, and therefore you perceive the change out there, then you hook into the force of the alignment that carries you. It becomes a vehicle that takes you to the other position, that of dreaming. This operation of following the change in the alignment while remaining extended is not only valid for the transition from waking to dreaming, it is also valid for the transitions we make in the recapitulation, the transition in stalking. When I want to enter the stalker's dream, I don't do it by trying to force myself, to convince myself to go there. I induce some kind of moment of transition between myself and the world. I induce this initial movement towards that position, but I do so while remaining extended. And this reverberates on the alignment that hooks my initial movement and carries it forward to where it needs to go. It's simpler than it seems. Put into words, it sounds very complicated, but in reality, it's simply a matter of me intending a change in the position of the assemblage point, in the time mode. But I intend it together with the world, extended over the world. This extension of mine onto the world, if it is really the extension onto the alignment, on the world understood as alignment, produces this wave, this push that carries us along with it. And we must not be afraid. There are essentially two things that prevent this movement, which is so profound, so complete, so controlled, so stable. One is self-absorption, which blocks it completely. You cannot remain extended and focused on yourself. It is either one or the other. There is no middle ground. And the other thing is fear, the famous first enemy of the warrior, which also stops us. When the world moves with us, well, initially it can make quite an impression. In reality, it's beautiful. Just don't be afraid of yourself, because in the end that's what it is. Yourself. We are the world too.